Should be on. Mine's on mesh.
I'm not on mesh.
Put it on mesh.
I don't have mesh.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
See if you can find me.
All right, we gotta get moving because I'm sweating balls. Yeah, I'm sweating balls, man. 91 degrees and like 90% humidity. Whew, it is freaking toasty. Not enjoying this part. I got sweat running into my eyes. Now, some of you may notice this is not the normal bike for Dave. All right, how do I put this in sport mode? Road, rain. All right. Yeah. What's the quick shifters settings? Teasing. I know. If you can get one for it, I would add it though. Yeah. All right, so I am on, what was this, a 2023, Bob? So I am on a Triumph Tiger 660 Sport. I need to, remind me later, I need to go up and look up the map for this and see if they've got it held back and restricted and all that stuff. And if you want, one day we'll get together and do an episode of Dave's Garage on how to reprogram this. But I have a feeling they may not have pulled ignition on this one, but they would have, you know, you give it all the throttle, and it goes, how about this much instead? They do that a lot with modern bikes, especially Triumph does it a lot. You think like, oh, I got it pinned, and yeah, you're getting 71%. So we'll look at unlocking that. It doesn't change the tune. It doesn't do anything else. It's just, and it's transparent to the dealer. It just tells the throttle whatever I ask for, like on an old school bike with a cable. When I go to 80%, give me 80%. So, feels good. Seating position, suspension, a little squishy. Yeah. I mean, if it works for you in the way you ride, man, I would just leave it, you know. For someone like me, I would have to upgrade the suspension, you know, probably swap out the shock and then get some, basically everything I had to do on the Speed Twin. You know, Speed Twin rides okay for most people if you're just buying it as a retro cruiser and, you know, you ride it a little sporty, but you're not really pushing it. But if you're big and fat like me, I'm over 250 with gear, and so it definitely wasn't enough. So I had to put the Olin shocks and K-Tech Racing springs and valves and adjusters, everything up front. So Bob is riding back there. I just looked in on the corner of my eye. I saw something like tailgating me. I realized, oh wait, that's the tank, but the tail bag. Lady, get out the way. Don't turn left or right. Don't turn right. Don't turn right. Yay! All right. We got a little bit of twisties here, Bob. Well, that's the thing. You don't need to ride that on eggshells, Bob, honestly. Now, I would not give it a handful of throttle in the turns. It does have traction control and ABS, but if you're ham-fisted, you're pushing over 190 horsepower to the wheel. You know, it's only going to help you so much if you're an idiot. So, but I'll tell you, when we get to a straightaway, have a little fun, man. Don't baby it. Give it some gas. You'll find that it pulls relentlessly like a locomotive, but it's not going to, like, it can't wheelie and flick you off. If that front wheel comes up, the traction just slams it right back down. So you can, it feels tame unless you you're hard on the gas. Once you go from 7 to 11,000 RPMs, it's just a blur because it just goes woof. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm in another zip code than I was 4 seconds ago. It's just a supremely comfortable, fast bike that still handles pretty goddamn well. It's funny, when you got on that, you said, hey, it feels so light. That thing's 100 pounds heavier than this. Yeah, for what it is, it's very capable. Alright, so let's start talking about this bike. This is the star of the show here. Sorry, Bob, I'm going to go up a little bit and have fun. I'll slow down after the turns. So we got Michelin Road 5s, so excellent tires. The suspension is really soft for me, but honestly, it's like, I don't know if I would do a track day with this suspension, but it's actually feeling pretty goddamn good. It's very planted. It tracks well when I'm going through the turn. It wasn't, despite the fact that it was moving around up and down, it wasn't moving left to right that much, which is nice. It's in road mode. I have a feeling it's restricted. I think we could absolutely liven this up a bit with some ride-by-wire tweaks. But it has good torque. The power is usable. It's probably there, up there, I'd say a little bit more than an MT-07, but not obviously nowhere near an MT-09. But this thing's got it's got a LCD display. You got ride modes. You got tire pressure monitoring system. You've got self-canceling blinkers, I believe. ABS and traction, 2 ride modes. The windscreen is adjustable, although he's got the pew, because like a lot of windscreens, if you're not the height of the test rider that they developed it for, it dumps it right into your face and your helmet and causes your helmet to move around a lot. And honestly, in this heat, I much prefer the shorter screens. It's keeping the brunt of the wind off me, so I'm not getting battered by it. But at the same time, I'm not having to worry about getting I'm getting some wind on me, which is helping me stay cool. So I don't know where Bob is. He kind of fell back. That's all right. I'll be back with this in a minute. But throttle response is good. The brakes are good. They're not... Yeah, acceleration's fine. You're not going to win a race on this thing, but it's not what this thing's about. It's very smooth. I was concerned about going through some of the twisties back there, that the suspension being so squishy was going to be all kind of over the place, but actually it held its line nice. Seating position's really nice. Definitely like that a lot. I'm going to make a right here, Bobby boy. I feel like I could get it to wheelie, but it would prefer not to when it comes to power. Like I said, it feels like it's just above an MT-07, but it's so light. I mean, this thing doesn't weigh anything. And honestly, right now, the balance of this thing is off because he's got 2 saddlebags and a top bag on the tail, which moves that, you know, you add another 15 pounds, but it's really up high. And so I would say if you didn't have all that luggage on, I mean, this thing wants to just flick around. But what's nice is when I'm doing this, the front end is staying stiff and straight. It's not I mean, the bike feels like you can flop it around, but the steering is staying not floppy. And this does not have, that I can see down there, this does not have a steering damper. So that is very impressive. That it's a hard thing to do sometimes. You get a bike that's really flickable, but then it makes it nervous and twitchy on the front end. This doesn't seem to suffer from that. This thing, you move it and it does it, but the front end, the front just stays straight. It doesn't feel like it's doing this at all. Good job, Triumph, on that. I have a feeling this is... no, it's actually not the 765 chassis. It looks like it's a tubular steel, kind of like a trellis frame, almost like Ducati Monsters. The wind is nice. We're at 3rd gear, churning along. When we get up to speed, we get up on another road. We're gonna head up towards Watkinsville, Georgia. There's a neat little pasta place. At least there used to be. Pretty sure they're still in business. I used to spend a lot of time in Watkinsville. That's where the Ducati dealer was. I was there pretty much twice a week, buying bikes or hanging out, getting stuff worked on, buying parts, accessories. Unfortunately, that dealership dissolved. NPR Ducati. That was a great place. Used to go up and hang out with Paul Bendy. Bendy or Bundy? I always forget. I just called him Paul. But cool guys up there. Rusty, Amanda, Jill. Had a really good crew up there. And unfortunately, after a while, the business dissolved. Had to find a new Ducati dealership. Had to get a new dealer. So, what do I like about this? Let's just start with the shorter list. Is there anything I don't like about it? Honestly, I can't really think of anything I don't like. You know, could the suspension be better? Could it be adjustable? Yeah. But then it wouldn't be under the $10,000 price tag. I mean, this is a $10,000 bike. You're getting a 2-year warranty with unlimited miles. You're getting steel braided lines. I think these are steel braided lines. Yeah, steel braided lines. You got ABS. Now, you don't get the top shelf Brembos like the Street Triple. You're not getting Owens and adjustable. Okay, fine. But you're also not paying thousands more. I'm making a point of hitting all the ripples and bumps here on the shitty part of the pavement. And it's doing a good job of soaking them up. For me, I might put a little bit more preload in the shock just for my weight. But honestly, it's just kind of eating it up and feels pretty goddamn good. The brakes are strong without being aggressive. They don't feel quite like sport bike brakes, but honestly, they're actually really good. I'll take that back. They almost feel like full-on sport bike brakes. I don't know if they're Nissan calipers up front. It doesn't even look like a radial master cylinder. But I mean, you'd look at the specs and you'd go, eh. But honestly, they're working. They feel good. If I would have hit the brakes, yeah, I mean, I could do an endo on this thing easily. I'm gonna make a left. What? Hold on. What? I'm trying to reconnect now. Hello? No? Let me see if you might be number 2. Hold on. Let's see. Anything? I don't know. This is why you need mesh, Bob. Damn it, Bob. Now we're stopping in the heat. It's got sweat rolling down my forehead into my eyes again. If we hadn't stopped, we could have gone through. Damn it. Life is all about timing. And now we have a wall of traffic, and I'm just absolutely fucking roasting and miserable right now. Please tell me he'll let us go. Can we go? No. So, Bob, are we connected yet? There you are, Bob. Yeah, when the Bluetooth, you got, next time you get a connection, get one with mesh. Because it's just automatic and then you don't have to fuck around with it. All right, so Bob, here's what I want you to do. Hold that thought. We have a straightaway. Put it in second gear. Go to second gear. And pin it. Pin it. Full throttle. Come on. You are not full throttle, Bob. I understand. I wouldn't tell you to do... Listen, you're on my bike. I wouldn't tell you to do something if I thought you were going to get hurt or wreck my bike. I know, but I want you to feel the straighter, because at some point I'm going to hand you this bike back. So I want you to feel a little bit of what that thing is about. I think it's going to surprise you because as quick as it is, it's not, it won't flick you off. Honestly, I'm telling you. So let's just make sure we got a clear shot, no cops. When I tell you give it the beans, in second, not first. Go to second. All right, just pin it. Pin it. You're not pinning it. You're not pinning it. Oh, Bob. I'm trying to get your reaction on here, but it's not going to be a reaction if you're not actually pinning it. I know. I want you to feel that power just once. No, you didn't. No, because you wouldn't be able to talk right now. You would be just like, oh my God. It's so smooth and electric, and it's not intimidating. That's the reaction, because you're gonna go, holy shit, that was fast, but it's not intimidating like an R1 would be, and that's where it excels. You just gotta pin it and hold it. Maybe not before a turn, but that's why I was telling you in those two spots. I know what I'm doing. I ain't gonna get you crashed. Yeah, if you want to really experience it, that's what that thing does. And it's like it will rewire your brain and reset your calibration to what fast actually is, because as fast as you think a bike is, you've not felt it. All right, so here we go. Don't do it in first. Get up into second. That means no wheelies. And just for 5 seconds. All right, pin it wide open. You pinned it a little bit. All right, we're gonna make a left here. You pinned it a little bit, but you weren't up in the power band yet. I'm not. No, I know. I'm not trying to bust your balls. I think you'd be amazed. It would open your eyes and just be like, oh, you could ride a bike that's like this, and it's actually fun, and to have that much power and actually have it be manageable that's what surprises you. On an R1, it's going to try to kick you off and spit you out, and the electronics are going to be going nuts trying to keep the front end down and all that. That doesn't have any of that drama. It's at least as fast as the R1, if not faster, but you don't have any of the drama. It just goes, and it makes horrific speed easy. That's the conclusion you end up drawing from it. But anyway, so I was going through what I like and don't like about this bike, and honestly, I haven't really found anything I don't like. What did you pay for this? What did you pay for it? All right, so what was the bike without all the accessories? 9 something, then you got taxes and okay, if you take out the insurance and the accessories, just the tag and title and tax, what's the out-the-door price on this? Well, what was MSRP? What's MSRP? 9.5. All right, so $9,500 plus tax and fees. Honestly, at that price point, there's nothing I don't like. The mirrors are fine. The electronics package is more than adequate. The power is good for what it is. It's quick. It's not a fast bike, but it's a quick bike. It handles nice. I was expecting the suspension is way soft for me, but I was expecting it to be all over the place in that little twisty bits, and it wasn't. Honestly, I could have pushed it and gone way faster through there. It instills lots of confidence. I would want a quick shifter. That's an accessory. That's an option. You know, for me, I think what would make it the perfect bike, but then it would jump the price up, would be if they threw this, if they basically made this the Street Triple RS 765 into a Tiger Sport. That to me, like that's what I would buy, because then it would give you that extra. It would give you all the comfort and amenities and the look. Well, the Tiger 800 and 900s, those are a different animal. Those are adventure bikes. This is sport touring, and I don't want an adventure bike necessarily. So, but to make it more sport without giving up any of the touring, the 765 motor and chassis would add, what, 30 horsepower or so at the wheel and give you a little bit better handling. Like that to me would be the ultimate bike. But for 10 grand, how the fuck do you go wrong? You got a 2-year warranty, you got electronics, you got all the stuff. It handles really well. It comes with great tires from the factory. I had to run over a machine screw like Bob did. We had to patch his tire first thing this morning. How many miles you got on this thing? Yeah, under 2,000. Oh, that's not too bad. I've gone and put a new tire on its cycle gear and ran over a nail on the way home. That sucks. Yeah, I picked it up on the way home about 17 minutes after saying, no, I don't want to add tire guard to my purchase. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Exactly. Yeah, I think on a rental car, you definitely add the extra insurance. Because you're like, yeah, I'm renting a Jeep. Like, I'm not going to go off-roading in it. But yeah, and the tire guard, I honestly, I haven't ridden over that many nails in my life, so it was not much of an issue. But I'm like, nah, I don't need it. Then I'm like, why does my back end feel squishy on the ride home? And I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had TPMS on a bike. Right. Dude, you know how many times I've gone in just to run numbers or just to see what they have and I come home with a fucking bike? Yeah. Right. Gotcha. Yep. No, I think you did real well with this thing. Honestly, the only things, I probably wouldn't have gotten the top case. I would want the side luggage that pops off. The top bag, I would want the rack so I could throw, I already have a bag, and I would just throw the bag on that and have it to strap it down. The only thing I would have added, I would have gone the TPMS, because honestly, I check my tire pressures every ride. I would have gone with the quick shifter and heated grips. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm in a habit of at least once a week checking tire pressures. And I can tell, like, when you're riding, if the tire gets about, if it drops more than like 4 or 5 pounds, I can feel the difference. I'm like, something doesn't feel right. But heated grips and a quick shifter, man, I'd be all over that. I think this is awesome. Yeah, you can wait until winter. Yeah, and honestly, it's such an easy install. The hardest part is just figuring out where the stupid plug is. On my Speed Twin, I had to move the tank. I had to pick up the tank. That was the hardest part. Yeah, exactly. So wherever the plug is, it might be up under the dash or under here somewhere. Take off a piece of plastic and plug it in, and that was it. I'm telling you, when you get used to a quick shifter, dude, you will love it. So here's my thoughts on the heated grips versus heated gloves. Heated gloves tend to be bulky. The heated grips are nice because you might go out in the morning and it's in the 50s and you don't need it during the day, but then it's late in the day and now it's in the 40s and you're wearing your normal gloves, and that's where you're like, it's enough. You can turn them on and keep your hands toasty and you don't lose your dexterity because you got these big, thick, like snowmobile gloves. I never had them until I put them on my Speed Twin, and I'm probably going to get them for my MT10. I think they're amazing. The Yamaha's already pre-wired and the dash has the controls already built in. You just got to buy it and plug it in. But this thing is just, dude, I'm really impressed with this bike. It tracks amazingly well. I was saying earlier, it's flickable without being twitchy. And that's a weird balancing act because a lot of times it's either really stable like that, but then it takes a little more oomph to chuck it in a turn, or it's really flickable, but then it's also twitchy. This is very flickable, but I guess it's got enough rake and trail in the front. It's relaxed enough geometry that it flicks in well because of its weight, but it's super, super stable. There's no twitchiness at all. I like this thing a lot. You know, for me, I wouldn't mind more power and, you know, some of the electronic stuff, but then you're looking at a $14,000, $15,000 bike. So it's like, if you want to stay within a certain budget, but you want quality, you want a good warranty, you want all the basics covered in a really attractive, good-looking bike, I don't see how you could go wrong with one of these. These motors have been around forever. These are the motors that were in the Daytona 675 and the old street triple, so it's been around for 15 years. It's a very reliable. What's that? Yeah, it's all based off that old architecture that they used in the Daytonas and the old street triples. So it's a very proven platform. The 765s are built on it, but they're a new generation and there are a lot of differences. But they're calling these the 660s, but they're really the old 675s. Just a different cam and tune and stuff. But as far as like the structure and the build, I mean, this thing just glides around turns. Yeah, now that you got rid of your Bonneville, I'm just going to be honest with you, Bob. I hated your bike. I went from the Speed Twin to jumping on that, and I was like, what the hell? I like, the brakes suck, the steering is jittery, it does not feel stable, I didn't trust the tires, the suspension was a rubber band. I'm like, this thing is downright dangerous. And I tried to tone my comments down when we were at the top of the hill talking about it because I didn't want to offend you, because people get weird about criticizing their bikes. But in my head, I was like, that thing's a piece of shit. Like, it's cool and it's got character and it's history, but as far as like to ride it, I was like, oh, I hate this thing. Give me back my bike. Yeah, but we weren't running a fast pace. We were just going up the backside of Blood Mountain through some sweepers, and I could not get comfortable on that thing. I was... Yeah. Oh, dude, this makes riding quick easy. You know, you're only going to go so fast, although I think we could make it quicker. But honestly, like, you're in the turn and I just bury the throttle coming off the turn, because between it not having a ton of power and it having traction control, I feel totally comfortable just whoop, while the bike is still leaned over coming off the turn. Ah, this thing's lovely. What? Yeah, we got to get one of those balloons, get well soon, feel better. Right. Yeah, free cat to a good home. Very quiet, smells bad. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm really digging this bike. Front end came up. It'll wheelie a little if you want it to. Yeah. It's nice, and I'll tell you, unlike my Tracer 9 GT, the Tracer was, so this is what I'm going to compare it to, because that's the only other sport touring bike I've ever owned. The Tracer, way faster, had an MT-09 motor in it. Brakes were comparable, but it had way more power. Oh, little deer, damn it. Yeah. And it had way much, much better suspension and all that stuff. So it was a bigger, faster, had a quick shifter, had all that stuff. The suspension was electronically controlled, so you could put it in road and it would soften up, or you push a button to put it in sport and the suspension would tighten up. So, but it was also a 15,000 plus tax bike, right? But that thing hurt the shit out of my neck. There was something about the ergonomics that even though it was upright and comfortable, I would already be, my neck would be starting to get that pinched nerve. I would be like already doing this. This is nice. Like, my hands are stretched out, I think, far enough in front of me, even though it's upright. Yeah, but that normally bugs me. The standard position actually doesn't work for me. I'm on the ZX14 because the Tracer, the Yamaha Tracer Sport Touring bike, was killing my neck. I went to that bike to get more comfortable, which makes no goddamn sense. We're gonna make a, I don't know where we are. Well, I mean, I sort of know where we are. And we can switch back anytime you want. I mean, we can switch back right here if you want. Well, I mean, we got a red light. Yeah. I like it a lot, and I really like that windscreen. Now we're back on Big Girl. You need me to lift your leg up for you? Yeah, dude, that's a good looking bike. I love the frame sliders. I like the luggage sits down low. Yeah, see, for me, I would have not gotten the back rack or the top case. I would have used that. Yeah, and being that wide seat, you got grab handles so you could tie a bag down, and then you got a bag. I got a 55-liter bag that'll add that to the side luggage, and it'd be perfect.